Water Cooler.
Let's go for sports updates.
Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone else. All are welcome, of course, to the first ever episode of The Water Cooler, your hot, steamy cup of league updates, all in one quick gulp. My name is Nathaniel Thomas, excited to join you from the Solano College Sports Network TV studio on this beautiful Tuesday, September 24th, 2024. I'm joined by the lovely Martina Casanelli, the ever-energetic Mason Flores, but now taking the plate, leading things off, the tall, handsome Robert Murray. Robert, what's the story with the American League?
Well, thank you, Nathan. As we can see, we have the American League West here. The Astros dominating per usual, and they had that slow start to the season, but as you can see, they're first place yet again. The American League Central, on the other hand, Guardians, they're lucky. It's just back this year. You know, they do whatever they want with their luck. And then the Twins, Tigers, and Royals are pretty close, fighting for that last wild card spot. We'll talk more about that later. As we head to our next slide, you can see the American League East. The Yankees back in their dominance per usual. You can see 92 wins on the year that already locked up the East. The Orioles, they're going to get that first wild card spot, have home field advantage in the first round. And more about the wild cards, as you can see, Baltimore's pretty much going to be locked in unless they go on like a 6-game losing streak. And then to Detroit and Kansas City, they've been playing some great ball recently. Oh, well, besides Kansas City, they're 2-8. And also the Twins, they have been sliding very, very far. They've lost like 30 games in their like last 40 or something like that. It's pretty ridiculous. And then let me have Nathan come back on to talk about the National League.
Well, thank you, Robert. So, I mean, with all that's going on in the American League, you know, it's easy to forget just how exciting the National League can get. We're going to start with where am I pointing? We're going to start off with the West Coast. Why? Because West Coast is the best coast. Look at the Dodgers. They got 93 wins, 63 losses, and we are a little excited. Please go back to the West Coast. The Padres have 3 less wins and 3 more losses. Therefore, they are 3.5 games back of the first place Dodgers. But the Padres and the Diamondbacks are in wild card contention. So we're going to skip through the NL Central as we can go to the next slide. The Brewers clinched. Who cares? The NL East. Let's see. The Phillies clinched. Who cares about the rest? What really matters is, of course, the wild card. So over here, we're going to take a look at the NL wild card. So the Dodgers, being in first place in the NL West, they are going to more than likely secure a seed if the Padres don't upset the NL West. The Phillies are right up there, as I try to find my face. And right here, the Brewers are possibly going to have to play in the wild card round. So what happens here is the Dodgers and the Phillies are guaranteed the spot. If the season were to end today, they are guaranteed a bye. They will be in the final 8. But there will be a best-of-3 series between the Brewers, Padres, Mets, and Diamondbacks. Again, that's if the season ended today. But take a look over here. The Braves are 6-4 in their last 10, and these Diamondbacks are barely holding on. They're 5-5 in their last 10. And all 3 of these teams, Mets, Diamondbacks, and Braves, they're all uncomfortably within a game of each other right over here, 5.5 games up. The Diamondbacks holding on to the last wild card spot, and the Braves are only a game and a half back. So keep an eye on the National League. It is going to get exciting for the last few weeks. But let's move on to something big that happened last week. The man, the mythical, the legendary Shohei Ohtani, ladies and gentlemen. Let's all just take a moment to appreciate this man. So, what did he do on September 19th in Miami? Let's take a look at what he did. Okay? He hits 6 for 6, this man. 6 for 6, okay? 6 doubles, 6 hits, including 2 doubles, 3 home runs, 4 runs scored, 10 runs batted in, and 2 stolen bases. This man alone was responsible for 14 of the runs in the 20-4 win against Miami, absolutely spanking the competition. He joins the 50-50 club? No, strike through. He founds the 50-50 club. In 148 years of Major League Baseball history and over 22,000 baseball players, this man has done what has never been done before. We are watching history unfold with every at-bat that this man takes. He hit 49, 50, and 51 all in that one game in the 19th in Miami. 50 and 51 for the stolen bases. 3 different pitchers, too. What does that show you? That shows you that this man is seeing the ball. Currently, that was 5 days ago, so he, up to date, is hitting, he's at 53 home runs and 55 stolen bases. I want to take a look at the 3 home runs that he hit in Miami. So we'll go on to the next slide, and let's take a look right here. So let me just get a little closer to the screen right here. So this home run on the 19th, you can see the pitch was 89 miles an hour, yet the exit velo of the homer was 109.7, basically 110 miles an hour off the bat with a 27-degree launch angle, good for 391 feet away from the place he was standing at home plate. The second home run, let's take a look right here. The pitch, 85.4 miles an hour, 111.2 miles per hour off of his bat at a 36-degree launch angle. That's good for 438 feet. What a man. And then finally, they threw in a position player, so they lobbed a big fat beat ball at 68 miles an hour. And Shohei says, I'm going to pad my stats. He hits his hardest hit of the day at 113.6 miles an hour. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know how fast 113 miles an hour is? That's how fast the ball is coming off of the bat. If you want to find out, sit shotgun in my car and roll down the window while I'm running late. But next, we're going to hand things off to Mace as he talks about the NFL.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Mason Flores. I'm going to talk about the NFC and the AFC divisions, conferences, and the NFL. So first off, we're going to start off with the Buffalo Bills. Leading the AFC East. Buffalo. I mean, some people would have thought it. I wouldn't have. I thought the Jets would be leading the division by now. I mean, it's a close race, 2-1. Miami, they lost Tua. Tua, if you're hearing this, retire, brother. Retire. It's over, bro. Get the money, go with your family, end the career. New England, they got a young core, a young team. They got a rookie quarterback on the bench behind Jacoby Brissett. And back on Buffalo, man, Josh Allen. We were just hearing Shohei Ohtani. Josh Allen does both aspects of the game, rushing and passing. He just had 4 passing touchdowns at the half last night. Can't be beaten. He might be the MVP right now. And then we got the AFC North. AFC North, we got Pittsburgh. We got Pittsburgh leading the division at 3-0. Justin Fields, I mean, former Bear in my heart. Love you, bro. No hard feelings. We love Justin Fields. Nobody likes Justin Fields other than me. Pittsburgh 3-0. Granted, they did beat some pretty poor teams, but they're starting off strong. Baltimore, game one, rough. Cleveland, Deshaun Watson, happy ending. Don't like to see it. Cincinnati, defense is terrible. We just saw Jaden Daniels tear him up last night. It was terrible. Then we got the AFC South. Rough. Look at those 2 teams right there. 0-3. Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence. What happened? Get him out. Tennessee, we got Will the Thrill Levis. You're terrible, buddy. Let it go. Indianapolis, we just lost to them. And by we, I mean the Bears. I mean, you see it. We lost to the Colts. It was a close game. Colts are going to be all right. I thought they were going to be better than what they started off with. Then we got the Texans. Everybody loves the Texans. Everybody loves their team. They just lost to my man. We go get into it. The Vikings, they just lost to the Vikings. We'll get into it. Houston, you're starting off slow. We do not have a problem yet, though. AFC West. Who would have thought? Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes. Travis Kelce. Even though he's been one of the worst tight ends in the league, but we don't want to talk about that because Taylor Swift. Then we got The Chargers. Harbaugh. They're gritty. They got strength. They got the run game. Las Vegas. Vegas? What? They beat the Ravens? Oh. Then Denver. Bo Nix. No, sir. We do not want to see that one ever again. Then we got NFC. NFC East. Wow. I have a friend in the booth, in the recording studio, who called it. Holden, you called it. James Daniels starting off strong. Look at that. 2-1. Oh, he looked like an MVP candidate. 91% passing completion. Man, then we got Philly. Philly, overrated. They're all right. They lost a tough game against Atlanta. Not terrible, not great. Then we got the Giants. Oh, Daniel Jones, cut it out. You're done. Malik Neighbors is a beast. He might win Offensive Player of the Year. And then we got Dallas. We got the Dallas Cowboys, America's team. You're done. End it. Cowboys, your season's over already. Your season's done. You lost a terrible game. You almost came back against the Ravens, but call it quits. Jerry Jones handed it over. Then we got the NFC North. Man, oh man, who would have thunk it? 3-0 Minnesota? No. With Sam Darnold? I hope he's healthy next week, but they're looking like not pretenders. Contenders. Sam Darnold, you're legit. I believed in you slightly. You play for the New York Jets. Who's going to play good with the New York Jets except for Aaron Rodgers? Then we got Detroit. People love Detroit, love their story. I don't like Detroit, obviously. Then Green Bay. Not talking about them, bro. My Chicago Bears, I'm not going to talk about them too much because it's been rough. It's been rough. If we keep it real, it's been rough. We got the Bears 1-2, 2 tough losses. I'm not too mad about it. We got the Rams coming up. Caleb Williams had his best game by far last week, had 362 yards. He looked great, kind of. He had 3 turnovers. Then we got the NFC South. What? Look at that. NFC South, New Orleans Saints, Derek Carr, stand up. He dropped the murder rate percentages in New Orleans. He's a Saint, literally, no pun intended. 2-1. They had 2 really good wins. Then we got Tampa Bay. I mean, we all thought that Tampa Bay was going to be legit. Atlanta, starting off slow. They had rough games. They just played the Chiefs on a tough game. And then we got the Panthers. Man, oh man. I thought they weren't going to win a game the rest of the season. They might have if Bryce Young was still the quarterback, but we know Bryce Young is not the quarterback anymore. Then we got Seattle leading the NFC West. Oh my goodness. Niners fans, where are we at? Oh, we're at the bottom. Oh man. Everybody clap it up for the Niners. Everybody clap it up for the Niners. Everybody, they are trash, bro. Get them out. They're not healthy. They're not ready. Their team, Shanahan, you're never winning a Super Bowl. You produce great coaching staffs, but it's time to get them out. You're last place behind the Cardinals and the Rams. You just choked a 10-point lead with 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter against the Rams. The Rams, I mean, you're not healthy as well. Get healthy. Niners, I hope you get healthy as well, but I'm just laughing at you now. You're just like the Cowboys. Don't forget it. Then we got Arizona. Sneaky team. They got Marvin Harrison Jr. They got Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's going to show them again. And then we got Seattle. Geno Smith. He always wants to tell us he doesn't write back. But please, write back. I'm sick of seeing you at the top. All right. Now, Matina, if you would like to join me for this college football rankings.
Hi. So we are going to talk about the very exciting game between Illinois and Nebraska, which went into overtime and ended in a win for Illinois, 31-24, after 2 sacks after the first 2 plays on the overtime period, pushing Nebraska back to a 3rd and 42 situation, needing only one touchdown for Nebraska to win the game.
Absolutely.
Did you watch the game?
Oh, yeah, I watched it. We were actually doing the broadcast on Friday. Last Friday, we were at Rodriguez. Shout out to the studio. Shout out to Rodriguez for having us. But before the varsity game started, I was watching the game. I was watching the first half. I was getting hyped for my Illinois team. Oh, my goodness, we're ranked, but we'll get into it. Yeah, I love the game.
Spectacular, yeah. All right, so now let's go into our top 25 for college football. Let's take a look at it.
All right, so look at those teams, man. Oh, man, look at. Is that who I think it is? Oh, where am I? Oh, look at that. Number 19, Illinois. We're ranked. It's been so long. We've been waiting for it. We're undefeated. We should be higher than some of those one-loss teams. Look at that. Clemson, we're better. Notre Dame, we're better. Louisville, we're better. LSU, we're better. SC, we're better. Michigan, we're better. We're going to show you Michigan. Michigan, we're going to beat you. But look at the Texas team. The Texas
Who's surprised?
team. Texas and Georgia, the juggernauts. Alabama's up there too. It's a huge game this weekend against, I believe it's Tennessee. Man, and then we got OSU. They're never legit though. They're not going to win. But the surprising thing so far is look at Utah. Utah and Miami. Miami's quarterback, the most nonchalant person you'll ever see. We all see the TikToks. We all see the edits. We love to see the edits. We love to see TikToks. And then Boise State, you're barely squeaking in the top 25. A&M, barely. BYU, you're all right. Oklahoma State, I don't think you should be. But we got to talk about Illinois, Penn State, my team. Look at that. The line is PSU minus 17.5. What are we doing? Illinois, we're going to show them again. We're going to be up to top 10 after this week, about to be 5-0. Then we got Purdue. Then we got Michigan. We have a tough schedule this year. Illinois, Oregon, Minnesota, Illinois. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, sounds exciting. Now let's get Nathan back in to talk about F1.
All right, thank you, Martina. Thank you, Mason. So the most recent race for Formula One was the Marina Bay Circuit over in Singapore. Here's just a quick look at the map. Over here, you got the speed trap. So expect a lot of top speeds around here if you rewatch the race. Over here is DRS Zone 1, and then 2, and then 3. DRS standing for Drag Reduction Zone. So this is when those spoilers come down. Usually you have your drags up on the speed trap just to hug you to the ground a little bit more. But if you put those speed traps down for the DRS zones, these are essentially where you can expect a lot of the overtakes for Formula One. Over onto the next slide, we will see the results. It was Lando Norris in first place, and then Maximilian Verstappen, and then you got everyone else getting all these points. So 25 points for the winner, 18, and then onwards down. That's going to add up to Max Verstappen placing up in first with 331 points, Lando Norris right behind him, and then Charles Leclerc is right after him in third place. It looks like Verstappen does have somewhat of a comfortable lead, but there are 6 races remaining, so anything could happen for the rest of the season. Over on the next slide, we're going to take a look at the next couple of races. You got the United States race, and then you got Mexico, Brazil, and then Las Vegas. That's going to be very exciting. Qatar, and then the last race will be in December. Next up, we're going to have the final segment of our show. We're going to talk about the WNBA. I'm going to bring on Martina. And Martina, what do you have for us with the WNBA?
Hi guys, I'm the resident woman here to talk about women's basketball. I'd like to introduce and invite back Mace and Robert if they'd like to give us a little bit of an insight about the WNBA this year. I've collected a few of our top teams for that are in the playoffs and to position for the finals.
Robert, go ahead.
I mean, I'm gonna be a little biased. The Minnesota Lynx, they're just a great team. Obviously, a little bias here coming from me because I'm a Minnesota sports fan. I have them going far in these playoffs. We'll see that later on behind us. But then also the Fever behind me, as you can see, the Fever. They're just Caitlin Clark. We're gonna talk about her later as well. She's just been phenomenal this year. Mace, you got anyone you want to talk about?
Well, my Chicago Sky did not make it to the playoffs, unfortunately. Health issues. Angel Reese was probably the runner-up for Rookie of the Year. You could make an argument she should win it, but, you know, Caitlin Clark, we knew before she was even drafted she was going to win everything. I think Chicago has a huge, bright future. They were right there for the 8th seed in the playoffs, but they decided to lose the last 3 games and killed their playoff hopes. But the MVP, oh man, you can't talk about her enough. A'ja Wilson, she is cementing herself as one of the GOATs in any sport. In basketball in general, she might be the best basketball player relative to her own competition in the world.
You think so?
I do, because this might be back to back MVPs, and it is unanimously voted MVP for the 3rd time. She might win another championship this year. The Aces, we'll see. We'll get to that in the brackets, but that's my GOAT for right now.
She's on a crazy run. Caitlin Clark also, ladies and gentlemen, crazy run. Phenomenal rookie year. Like 19 points per game. She's averaging like how many assists? Like
almost 10.
Almost 10 assists. It's been insane. She's putting up like that Steve Nash build going on in the WNBA. As you know, Steve Nash, great player. He won an MVP. People might call it fraudulent. Who knows? Caitlin Clark, next year, she might have one of those fraudulent MVPs. But she's just been amazing, carrying that Fever team to the playoffs, as we're about to talk about in these playoff brackets coming up. And as you can see behind us, we have it right here. And Mace, do you want to make your picks on these games?
Okay. Well, starting off 1-0. I mean, they're up. They're gonna sweep Atlanta Dream, New York Liberty. They might be the biggest competition to the Aces right down here, but I do have New York winning this series right here tonight. And then we got the Aces beating Seattle. I do think it's gonna be close, but I have the Aces beating Seattle. And then up here, we got the Lynx. Minnesota stand up. Minnesota sports are up and coming.
Absolutely.
They're up and coming. Robert, I'm going to give it to you. I wish Chicago we were in the same boat, but we're not. So I got them going to semifinals. Then we got, I think this might be a biased pick because everybody loves Caitlin Clark, but I got the Fever upsetting Connecticut. And I think they're going to make a run. I don't think they're going to be able to make it past the 2nd round, but I do think they will make a run starting tonight and beat the Connecticut Suns in this series. I think it'll be a close series. I think they'll storm back down 1-0 because it's best of 3, as you see right here. And I think then we have the Lynx Fever. I got the Lynx.
Obviously, who wouldn't?
They're going to be going to the finals, and then we got New York, Las Vegas. This is the championship. This is the real championship. Minnesota, yeah, you might surprise everybody, but this right here, they have a stacked team. They're like the 2017 Warriors here. They are amazing. And then we got the MVP playing. I think it'll go 5. It'll go the max games, but I do think the Aces will pull it out. And then we have the Lynx versus the Aces, and I have the Aces winning the championship. I got the Aces winning the championship. They're going to go back to back to back, and they're just amazing. They're phenomenal, and they're just going to bulldoze everybody.
My playoff bracket's pretty much similar to yours, but I have the Lynx winning it because I'm going to put my bias out there right now. As a Minnesota boy, we need that championship. It's heartbreak in the big 4 sports: hockey, baseball, football, basketball. WNBA has been the one thing we kill it at usually, and I'm hoping for another championship because, breaking everyone's heart and being like, Minnesota, man, who goes to Minnesota.
No one wants to
But
go to
they're
Minnesota.
being put on the map in sports this year, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to love to see it.
All right, well then let's head back to Nathan to close us out.
All right, well, thank you again, Matina, Mason, and Robert. There you have it, folks. The baseball season is entering its final home stretch. NFL and college football are both kicking off. Formula One is just underway at a good cruising speed. Again, 6 races left on the year. And the WNBA is something we're all very excited about. So, when you impress your friends with your expansive sports ball knowledge, let them know you heard it here first from the water cooler.